بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
For work. I was originally supposed to stay in Singapore for 2 years, but I changed my mind and decided to stay longer because I like the diversity and environment of this country. About 2 years ago, I first met my Singaporean husband through a mutual friend, and I got married to him last year. I reverted to Islam on the 31st of May last year, so I have been a Muslim for about 1 year. After I met my husband, who is a born Muslim, I became interested in Islam. When I told him that I'd like to know more about Islam, he told me that there were some courses on Islam at the Muslim Converts Association of Singapore. There, I learned basic knowledge of Islam and how to pray. And I also went to see a Japanese Muslim who had converted in a similar way. After listening to her story and various other experiences from friends and teachers, I decided to revert. One of the things that inspired me was that I wanted to have the same experience as my husband, and I thought that it would be good for me to get on the same page as him to understand him even better. For a group discussion at the Rularcam, I also realized that Islam as a religion is pretty similar to the underlying philosophy of Japanese culture. I felt that the attitude towards the teachings of Islam is the same as what I have been taught in Japanese ethics since young. So after this experience, I thought the conversion should not be a big issue for me. At first, I thought that Islam is strict and stiff, like a person will be punished immediately if he or she doesn't obey. And I also had this vague negative image of Islam. The Japanese are not really familiar with Islam, and so my mother was a bit worried that I would jump to another religion. But she accepted it because she understood that I would never give up once I had made my mind. And my father also accepted without hesitation. It was just so surprising to me since I had thought that he was more conservative. I was really glad when he said that no matter what, you're still yourself. My Japanese friends were interested to know how my lifestyle would actually change, and almost all my Singaporean and Malaysian friends were so surprised to know that I was going to convert and took it more seriously than me. Though I just followed my heart and decided to convert for my own sake, some of them seemed to see this conversion as self-sacrifice, and some of them were impressed and they said it was a power of love. The common question I had from my Japanese friends was, "Are you okay not taking alcohol and pork?" I guess the common misconception is that I will be blamed when I don't follow the teachings of Islam, like praying 5 times a day and not taking alcohol and pork. But teachers and Japanese Muslim friends taught me that it depends on my relationship with God and that nobody should interfere with it, meaning that I can gradually get used to Islam at my own pace. My husband and his family have also never forced me to do anything. When I first reverted, praying 5 times per day was most challenging for me. During that time, my father living in Japan got sick. But since I was working in Singapore, I couldn't go back to Japan. What I could do was just to contact him more frequently and pray to Allah for his recovery. And after that, I acquired the habit of praying. Actually, I tried 1 month fasting during Ramadan last year before reverting to Islam. Thus, this is my second Ramadan. Last year, I was surrounded by my husband, his family, and a lot of Muslim friends. But now, I'm the only Muslim in my hometown in Niigata City, so it feels a little lonely. At that time, it was just before my conversion, so it was my first experience with Islam as well as my first Ramadan. And I remember I had a stomach ache during the first few days after I started fasting. But after about a week, I got used to the 2 meals a day lifestyle, and I learned how to control hunger, even though I felt that I got easily tired and lost concentration. Weekdays were easier than weekends because there were a lot of things I could do. As I mentioned, Islam has many things in common with Japanese culture, so I usually don't have difficulty keeping the balance. The communication with non-Muslim Japanese friends might remind me of a way of thinking and behaving that's unique to the Japanese without even realizing it. Moreover, my husband likes Japan very much, and we often watch Japanese TV programs. That might also help me stay Japanese. As I was advised by various people when I reverted to Islam, you don't need to expect yourself to be perfect from the beginning. It's okay to take it easy and get used to Islam little by little at your own pace. So I think it might be good to listen to different views and perspectives, then think well and make your own decision.